We would like to invite Thayne's new Vini family member, Alexa. Alexa, would you come on? She wanted to thank you, Rick, and she's going to give you a little bit of a quick overview of what's happened in their family. Are you there, Alexa?
Yeah, so basically, it was several weeks ago that we were just kind of facing a decision on whether or not, sorry, my son's going to push me around right now, but we were kind of facing a decision on whether or not we were going to have to institutionalize our son who has autism, and he was very violent. We weren't really sure what we were going to do, and it just, the product kind of fell into our lap. It was more of a miracle. I mean, it is a miracle, honestly, but it fell into our lap, and we started him on it on a Monday, and I knew that day we had received a text message from his teacher. You know, just he was shocked because he wasn't the same little boy. I still go between, like, is this reality or is this kind of, am I in this dream state? But you know, every day since, he's had so much progress. Today he came home, and his teacher and those on the bus had mentioned that he had a fabulous day. With the first week that he was on it, 4 days after, sorry, he's playing on a toy right now, but 4 days after, he had wrote his name for the first time. And awesome. This is a child who is nonverbal, completely nonverbal. Within the first week, like, he called me mama for the first time. And so it's really incredible. And every day since, he's just a normal little boy. And so, like, this, I mean, you know, like, I don't know. It's like experiencing all of those things that you do with a newborn, you know, like, it's all of those first milestones. And so I just want to personally thank you. And I know that my husband as well would, you know, for allowing us to be able to, you know, just even know what our son's voice sounds like, because we didn't know. Decision, do I have to give up my 2 older children to their biological father to keep them away from my son, who at the time was violent? You know, and I don't think any parent ever can fathom the idea of having to give up 2 of their children to keep them safe from another of their child, you know. And he's almost 7 in February. You know, he had all of his services taken away from him. He was going to be kicked out of school. I mean, he's only 6.5, you know, and so it's just crazy, you know. And so he hasn't, I mean, it hasn't been very long, you know, and so it's just Alexa, a miracle.
Alexa, I was going to ask you, when did you start? Was it been 3 weeks? About 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, okay. Today is 3 weeks, or yesterday was 3 weeks.
Okay, and I remember your first, actually, I was so thankful Thayne called me and put me on a call with you that Thursday. So he'd started on Monday, and by Thursday, he's saying mama. This is a 6.5-year-old. You've never heard that before. And within 4 days, right? And the week before, like, was it like the week before you met Thayne on a Sunday evening, he brought 2 bottles over, but right before that, they had told you that you need to institutionalize your little boy. Is that correct?
Right. So that Sunday that he had brought us those bottles, it was not that Saturday, but that Friday that we were told that, you know what, we can't help you. And if something happens, like, you just need to call 911. You just need to take him to the emergency room, you know. And it's just, you know, something that you would never imagine. I mean, we've had so many miracles. I mean, just
several people are going to want to know, what was Artist taking, your little one? What were you giving him?
So he takes 7 in the morning, 7 after school, and then 6 at night.
Okay, so 7 drops of zeolite of our cell defender in the morning, 7 in the afternoon, and then 6 in the evening. And that, and that's
for his age, 20 a day is great, spread out like that. Just make sure he's drinking plenty of water. People know that we did a clinical study back in 2008, I think it was 2009, with the Arizona State University. Dr. Jim Adams did the study, and we saw amazing results with autistic kids. It's kind of funny because we've known ever since the early 80s that chelation therapy helped these kids. Because it actually started because there was an autistic kid, I think in Chicago, that had lead poisoning. He'd been eating lead paint. So he went for chelation therapy to get rid of the lead, and he started getting function back. And it's like, what's going on? So they started realizing that maybe it's a heavy metal issue, and that metals interrupting metalloenzyme metalloproteins may be, if not the cause of, certainly contributory to the issues with autism spectral disorder. And so they started looking for all sorts of different oral chelators and IV chelators. Clearly, these kids were toxic, and removing those toxins started cleaning everything out and started getting things right. But there's nothing better than hearing that our products are helping people, and especially when you have a child that was nonverbal, can suddenly make their wishes be known and say, I love you, and talk to their parents. It's just amazing. These are blessings that we don't even realize are out there.
Rick, I liked it that Thayne Googled zeolite and found out that it was good for, well, pretty much everything. Isn't that cool? Somebody else Googled zeolite and found it on Amazon and thought, well, maybe that would be just as good. Guess what they had? A brush with greatness. They had what I call a cruel misrepresentation, because others are slapping the word zeolite on the raw material, putting it in a bottle or a capsule or shaking it up in a drink, and pretending that they're as smart as Rick Deitch and have removed the poison and made it small enough to leave the gut and circulate systemically in the body fluids. They have not. It takes him 3 days and 30 steps to make a batch of zeolite. The most they ever do is 3 steps in 30 minutes. No wonder it isn't, and they don't know what they're doing in the first place. And they use his references and my wife's testimony to say that their product will do something that it won't do because it cannot get where it needs to go, and it's not hungry to steal the poisons. Those are the 2 miracles that Rick Deitch brought. It is hungry to steal the poisons, and it's small enough to get where it needs to go.